Hi, everybody. Welcome to a new Prog Report interview. This is Roie. I'm very pleased to welcome back to the show amazing drummer, singer, all around incredible musician, our good buddy Nick DiVirgilio, back to the program. How are you, man?
Good. How's it going? Thanks for having me. It's fun to be here.
Yeah, no, it's always good to have you on. And it's been maybe a little bit since you've been on. Although for people that maybe weren't paying attention, you were on Cruise to the Edge on our live Wheel of Prague, which
Yes.
wasn't that long ago. And that
No.
was fun because
I made some interesting choices that didn't really
yeah, that was
jibe with some of the other opinions out there.
not generally booed in public. So anybody that hasn't seen that, it's on our YouTube channel and it's hilarious and it's all good fun, but you should check it
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
So you got a lot going on, man. A lot that I want to cover. I know you're sitting in the airport. We'll try to get through it all. You have the Rewired Genesis remastered reissue that is coming out soon on November 28th. You're on tour right now with Steve Hackett, which is what you're involved in at the moment. And I do want to mention we should talk a little bit about because as this is coming out, you guys have just Big Train, I should say, have
hmm
just released the first single from the highly anticipated new album called Woodcut, which comes out on
Yes.
February 6th, I believe. That's exciting, man. I don't think a lot of people knew an album was coming, really, and this one seems to be sort of a big concept record, which is a first for the band. So there's a lot of time before that album comes out. I don't want to get into too much detail on it because I want to cover your stuff. But what can you tell us about the Big Train album?
Well, first off, and we're very excited about the new record. Yeah, you're right. It's a concept record. It's the first time we've done that, which um, doesn't seem like a big stretch for the band, but it was one of these things where it's a very story-oriented band as far as songs, especially the way Greg writes lyrics and things like this. But this was a story from beginning to end where everybody got involved, especially Claire helping with the lyrics and the storyline. Everybody's writing. We played in the same room. We recorded 95% of it at Sweetwater together in a circle. Um, so there's great camaraderie as musicians. Um, it's just a really cool piece of art that we're super excited about.
Yeah. How long were you guys working on it? Has it been
Well,
maybe?
we were in the studio for 7 or 8 days or something like that. I forget to do all the basics and as much as we could in the same room, and then um, they went back to overseas, and then Alberto went to Rob's and did vocals for a few days, and Claire did a couple of violin bits. So I don't, it didn't take that long overall if you count all the days.
Yeah. Well, the
But what
first.
what did take a long time, and I will give a little shout out. Sorry to interrupt you. Um,
Yeah.
what did take a long time is Alberto's pre-production of this record. He deserves a lot of credit. He's the producer on the record, and he deserves that title because um, he did a shitload of work. I mean, a
Nice.
lot of pre-production. So like we really knew what we were doing. So when we went into the studio at Sweetwater, we weren't wasting time. We knew we kind of went A to B and down the line and stuff. It's because he put in so much time getting everything ready for us to just sit down and play. So he deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah. Very cool. The first single, "The Artist," is out. Um, very cool song. It sounds like Big Train. Sounds like what you guys do. Maybe a little darker, kind of. I
Yeah,
think, which is kind of nice.
it's got a nice. Well, this has kind of come from the mind of Ricard. He's got a lot to do with this tune, and he's got his what am I saying here? His Frank Zappa 70s love of music in his bones, and it kind of comes out in that song as well. So we get to kind of veer off into some cool little sections in the middle, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
super fun to play. Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, shout out to Greg on that bass line in that song, which is just
hmm
outstanding.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very Genesis-ish. I
Yeah,
kind
and
of
it's
feel
got
like.
some. Yeah, it's got that, and it's got a little bit of Jethro Tull vibe to me. Very 70s prog in certain sections of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, lots to come on that. But if you haven't checked it out yet, it's out now, and it's really cool. Excited for that new album. Let's go ahead and talk about the rewiring Genesis. I was getting
Yes.
confused. Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. So this is something that you did a while ago, almost 20 years ago now.
It's
Do you want
crazy.
to
Yeah.
take us? Yeah, that's wild, huh? I remember first hearing it back then. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you want to take us back a little bit to the decision to even do it back then a little bit and describe that how that started?
It, it's my partner on the record is named Mark Hornsby. I've recorded hundreds of songs with Mark Hornsby. He's the reason I went to work at Sweetwater, and we met in the '90s. And he lived in Nashville and did his was a recording engineer there. And over the years, we did a bunch of projects, and we would always get together over a few glasses of wine and come up with crazy ideas of stuff to record that for fun. And we were sitting at the NAMM show, which is a big music convention, one evening after the show, and after a few glasses of wine, he came up with the idea of trying to record the colony of Slipperman in a sort of bluegrass or countrified style. And it sounded funny at the time, but then we talked about it and started throwing back and forth ideas and then decided to go for it. So we got together with a bunch of Nashville, like serious high level Nashville musicians who never heard this song before. They knew Genesis, but they
Oh
had no
wow.
idea what the colony of Slipperman was. And our friend John Hinchy, who's a trombone player and an incredible arranger of instruments, he could arrange for whole full orchestras and all that kind of stuff. He charted out the whole song and then arranged it for a bunch of instruments. And we got together with these players, and it didn't really turn out bluegrass, but it definitely has it's the song, but it has a unique character to it, and we did crazy things like the synth solo is now played on accordion and
Right.
just all we really did was change the instrumentation and gave it a little bit of different flavor. And that's mainly because there's all these players who are incredible musicians but never heard the music. So they were just interpreting the music they were reading on paper.
Oh
And
wow.
and it worked out way better than we ever thought it would. And then after we did that whole song and we listened to it back, we go, well, how crazy would it be to try to tackle the whole record? And so we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wonder because there's been now a bunch of people over the years, even recently, that have
Yeah.
done reimaginings of the Lamb, and it's not just taking on recreating an album. It's seen. I mean, it's a double album. It's long. It's complicated. Were you at any point halfway through it going, "Oh God, what in the world did we get
Yeah.
ourselves
What did
into?"
we do? Yeah, I'm sure we did. But again, what the easy part was the players that Mark knew, because he was the one that got him and John um were had relationships with all the musicians in Nashville. So they knew these guys, they knew the level of players that they were. So it was a lot of music, but over a few days, they came in and kind of just, they would come in and listen to one of the songs, look at the charts, and we would play the song. And it was pretty as simple as that. These are the kind of people that can go in and do like, record 10 songs a day at four different studios in town. So they really know what they're doing as far as that's concerned. And so getting through all the tunes, it didn't take as long as it seems like it would.
Yeah, yeah, I guess those
And
kind of
yeah,
musicians, they're used to going into for studio work, looking at charts and just knocking stuff out. So yeah,
yeah.
I guess.
And it's
Yeah.
that's kind of what we did. And we would tweak and, do multiple takes if we had to and all that kind of stuff. But it went fairly quickly and we just had a lot of fun.
So the big thing that is a little bit different on this version is orchestration
Yeah.
and also Steve Hackett. But I want to touch on the orchestration because there's some moments like in the middle of In the Cage that just sound
Yeah.
epic, just so cool. Like, I mean,
Well,
how did you
that's the
get all
one.
that done?
Well, that's the one tune that has the orchestra from Abbey Road on it. Mark was working on some projects with DPA microphones, and we got to go to Abbey Road for a crazy long session, and he put that song in the middle of the session. So we have like basically the London Philharmonic playing on that tune. And again, John Hinchy's arrangements really come to life, and it's yeah. Being in that studio, I mean, that's the same studio where they did Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and all these amazing,
Right.
huge things. And yeah, it was just incredible. And to hear it come to life on that tune, really, it takes the whole song to a whole other level.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a few songs that really shine in their uniqueness and how you guys did it. I mean, that's
right.
certainly one. Like you said, Colony of Slipperman is really different. I gotta say, I like your version of it almost better than the
Yeah.
original. It really works.
Good. Yeah, cool.
with
Yeah,
the
we just have
horns
fun
doing
with
the
these
main
tunes.
section and stuff. Yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah.
really cool.
It almost sounds like a big band tune. Well, and it comes down to the fact that oh sorry, that the music in itself, if you kind of break down the songs like we did and sort of analyze the tune, it's really creative songwriting. It's not as difficult as it sounds necessarily. The songs aren't, it's very bluesy in the way they write when you get down to the meat and potatoes of it all. So they're really just straight ahead songs, but then they take them to different directions, and that's what brings out the technical sort of hardness. Like that sounds like a difficult song when it's not as difficult as it really seems to be.
Yeah, I think it's it just as a listener and certainly someone who isn't a musician, I would imagine it just sounds like so much.
Oh, totally. No, I get it.
There's just so much going on. It's I
That's
mean
what makes it so good.
yeah,
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
the greatest albums of all time. I mean,
yeah.
is that your favorite album? Is that your favorite Genesis album, I should say?
It's right up there. I still think Selling England's probably my favorite, but The Lamb is very close. It's right up there. With Trick of the Tail, all those, that era when they were young and Phil Collins was just on fire as a drummer. Um, yeah, that's
I
sort of my
mean,
favorite era.
weren't they like 24 years old when they did
Yeah,
The Lamb? I mean,
they were
something
kids. Yeah,
insane.
yeah, they were kids. Yeah,
That's so crazy. I
I
mean,
know.
it's absolutely insane. Yeah, so that album is turning well. The 50th anniversary was technically last year, I guess. But it's really cool to see all the celebrations, and it's glad and I'm glad that you're reissuing this because it was out of print for a while, right? So now,
Yeah, when
uh,
we first put it out, we ran into a few hiccups with the record company, and it just sort of died and sat on the shelf. And I was trying to bug Mark for a number of years to let's can we put this back out? We got some requests. Where could we find it? We saw it on sale on eBay for a stupid amount of money a couple of times. So this was the anniversary was sort of the impetus to get off our butts and to just get it back out there. And then you know, uh, Big Train's side record label, English Electric, with Nick and Greg, was the place we could put it out.
yeah.
So it sort of all
So,
worked out in the end. Yeah,
so we should transition a little bit into Steve Hackett by sort of mentioning that he is also performing on
yeah.
yours, doing, I think he's on Flying a Windshield. Were you there with him when he did it, or did he record it and
No,
send it to you? Yeah.
yeah, he recorded. It's weird. I've been a couple of people have been asking me, what's it like? I He could have easily said, no, I don't feel comfortable doing, playing
Yeah.
on a tribute record of my own band's record. It's a
Right.
little strange. It's a little weird, but he's a super gracious guy. It's really sweet, and he liked the version that I did, so he said yes, which was, I mean, incredibly cool of him to say yes. So I sent him the tracks, and he played on "Fly on a Windshield," and then did the rhythm guitar part for Broadway Melody as well.
Yeah. I mean, he is the nicest, maybe the nicest person I've
Yeah,
met
he is a
doing the music stuff and talking to him.
yeah,
He's pretty great.
yeah,
Well, let's talk about you being on tour with him, playing The Lamb
yeah.
and other great songs. So you actually played with him before, right? On a previous run, I believe,
On
right?
22, I did a short number of shows with him in 22. Yeah.
Yeah. So talk about what's going on now. How long is this run?
This runs 2 months long. It's 28 shows, so it's a nice little chunk of time. The band's really coming together. We just did our 14th show last night, and it's really a solid sort of thing now. It's really cool that they brought me along. So I mean, Craig Blundell, who's Steve's longtime drummer, is now out with Steven Wilson, who's touring the world and taking up all his time. So Craig couldn't do the gig anymore. They originally called me, asked me if I wanted to do the European run earlier this year. I couldn't because of the big train. Um, they got Felix Lehrman to come in and play, and then they hadn't made a decision what they were going to do with drummers, and so I said, if there's a chance at all to do the U.S. run, think about me, and they did, and they offered me this 2 month slot, and then they hired Felix as the full-time drummer for next year. Felix is an amazing drummer, so they picked a
Sure.
really good guy. They're in good hands with Felix on the drum throne. That's all fantastic. And I wouldn't have been surprised I wouldn't have been surprised if they would have come back to me and said, listen, Nick, because Felix did the European run and the Italian run. If they would have came back and said, listen, Nick, we got a permanent drummer now. We want Felix to do the US run. I mean, it would have been disappointing, but I would have understood. but they didn't. They still kept me on for this 2 month run. So they played with three different drummers this year, and just super gracious that they allowed me to come back and do this U.S. run, knowing that
Yeah.
Felix is going to come back as the permanent drummer next year. So all that to be said, it's a blast. It's a freaking blast to play these songs every night with the band. They are super consistent. I feel like I'm a teenager, playing these tunes that I've been playing since I was 8 years old with the main guy. It's pretty mind
Yeah.
blowing for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people I think forget that you were on an actual Genesis album
Yeah.
many
I
many
know.
moons ago, Calling All Stations, which
Yeah.
forgotten classic. I still love that record. But now you're playing these songs with the original guy, and you have your Lamb thing coming out. It's all,
Yeah.
come full circle. I mean, it's got to be amazing. What are some of your favorite songs to play on this tour?
There's, well, a lot of it. Supper's Ready is obviously very cool and hard. Sorry if you hear the airport in the background. I apologize about that.
No, actually, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's see. What's some of my favorite? There, in the first set, the first set is the solo material. So there's a lot of cool songs in the solo set that are fun to play, like the Hierophant, a lot of uh, Devil's Cathedral. There's some really drum intensive songs, which are super fun. In the Genesis set, he picked the sort of guitar centric songs from the Lamb, not a lot of the hard stuff. So now we're not doing In the Cage or Riding the Scree or Slipperman, but playing the Lamb itself, playing Broadway melody. I mean, I'm sorry, playing Fly on a Windshield and hearing him play that guitar solo is pretty special, and it's
Yeah.
really heavy, and I get to hit the drums super hard. That's great.
Yeah. Very cool.
Um, we're doing For the Fifth. I get a big fat drum solo into Los Endos, so it's pretty intense gig. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen his show, I don't know, dozens of times. It feels like
Yeah,
between him coming to Florida or somewhere else or on the cruise, and I'll never miss it. I just think it's the greatest concert you can see. It's truly outstanding, and Steve is amazing. I mean, he's
he's
just awesome.
at his age. He's 75 now, and he gives it up every night. Like he plays like he's a young kid. His fingers are moving just as fast as they ever were. I mean, that for sure. He's really consistent night after night, and yeah, and he just wants to keep playing. He just loves being on stage.
And how great is Nad with the vocals? I mean, talk about sitting behind him playing, because he's just really great at it.
He definitely channels that whole thing. It's definitely in his blood, this style of music and that kind of performance for sure.
Yeah. Are you ever thinking of doing another rewired of another album? Did that ever
We've
come?
talked about it. We've talked about it. We'll see what the future brings. It's now that all comes down to schedule and if we could ever pull
Right.
it off. Yeah.
So, last thing, I'll let you go. Cruise to the Edge coming up.
Hmm.
You got Big Train. Are you gonna be playing with Steve again on that, or will that be Felix by
No,
then?
that'll be Felix. Yeah. So I'll be done at the end of this tour with Steve. I mean, if they ever call me back to fill in or sub, I could definitely do that. But Felix will be the permanent guy with Lala Larson now on keyboards because Roger is retiring. So they'll be on the cruise, but I'll be there with Big Train, and we'll see if something else comes up between now and then. Usually things sort of come together where I
Yeah,
end up
you're always
playing.
doing something.
Yeah, yeah, but
Anything else coming up? I mean, are you doing any more? Is Mr. Big done, or is there anything else going on?
yeah. Mr. Big is done for now, unless something happens, and then I'm working on new solo material.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
Cool, man.
yeah,
Well, excited for that. All right,
yeah.
brother. Have a great trip. Enjoy
Thank
the
you.
rest of the tour. We'll talk again soon. I'll see you on the ship.
All right, bud. Take care, man.
See you, man. Bye. Hey, thanks for checking out the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on all our socials and progreport.com. And we'll see you all again real soon. Thanks.